But that was game one. Game two coming at you here live. Picks and bans.
Wait, we're live? I thought we were recording this.
No, I mean, we're live right now.
Oh,
You can't.
So I can't mess up. They can't edit it out?
No,
Okay.
no, you're stuck.
I'm done.
Man, if they could edit this stuff out, I'd look so much better online.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable here. Freya, big point of the picks and bans.
Yes.
I like what Rival did. They actually stripped it away from Narc, putting, you know, that kind of presence there. The main issue is they put it mid. And I'm not saying Freya can't work mid. I'll let teams experiment all they want.
Yeah.
But the issue is that the Freya got picked up so early on, and it was so they had the option in their last pick to pick a different mage, right? And they could have, instead of the last pick on her, they could have went with Zeus. They could have went with Jean. They could have went with any mage and then put the Freya in the duo. Instead, they seemed too committed to it that early on. And against a Ratatosker, a Neith, and a Soul, who are going to be able to A, dive them with the Ratatosker, and B, just be able to poke out the Freya so easily without ever getting into a fight with the Neith Soul, it just didn't really make a lot of sense into the composition.
Were you about to say Zonkui?
I did say Jean.
You
could have picked him mid.
No, you
Not saying
definitely
he's
could have.
meta, but hey, man, Lobster plays him.
Hey, but bans coming out: CycloneGG banning out Arlang Shen and Raijin. Rival banning out Nemesis and Fafnir. Since Cyclone have first pick, they can pick up the Freya that they wanted.
I don't know if you want to commit it to first pick. Also, Narc showing he has a really good soul as well. You would almost see that first pick. Instead, we'll go a little bit meta. It's going to be the Kuang. Obviously, a little bit lackluster in the early game compared to some of the physical junglers, but heading into late game, he's a monster.
I mean, that execute, definitely very useful, but Guan Yu did make it through the bans. First pick up for Rival. Now, what wasn't banned out is Odin, which I feel like is a really big counter. CycloneGG will probably want to pick that up just to horse in,
It's
cage in the horse.
The question is if you want to pick it up this early, because Rival then have the ability to kind of counter pick around it. Instead, Cyclone's been going to go I did it again. CycloneGG going to go the Neith, and instead of the Soul, they'll go the Freya. So still going for this Hunter in the mid and Magical Hunter in the duo.
Yep, but Freya definitely worked out for them last week. Narc showing a lot of prowess when it comes to these magical ADCs, so no surprise here picking them up. But Isis coming in from the mid lane for Rival.
Just gonna have a lot of pressure in the early game, very similar to Neith. One ability clears that wave. You don't really have to worry too much. A lot of presence as well against an Kuang. You're gonna be able to set up multiple invades. I really want to see another just like high pressure jungler coming out of Rival. It could be the Ratatosker, could be the Thor, could be even a Naja here.
Get out some hum bots. That ultimate is ridiculous. But bans coming out Rival. Getting rid of that Odin, do not want to face that cage, do not want to cancel out any of the healing from that cage. Amaterasu banned out as well. Finner and a Wheelish.
And I like these bans, very, very similar to a Thor where they have a lot of power in the early game. There's a whole lot of kill potential. We see over in the European SPL, actually, Energy, former world champions, run a lot of Isis, Fenrir. They like that combination because they can pick off supports more than anything. Supports don't really want to invest in the purification area, so either A, they go their meditation, their sprint, whatever, and then they just die, or B, they go purification, and they don't have meditation or a sprint or a shell for a team fight.
Zuna going a little aggressive, picking up that Robin for the solo lane, and Bacchus, one of the, he's the epitome of support aggression.
I would say so too. He jumps in and he kills you. You go Shoes of the Magi. When a support player, their first mindset is to go Shoes of the Magi on a god, you know it's a god that sets up kills. Bacchus just provides so much just setup potential for kills, as well as just damage output in the early game. Obviously that, trails off as, items and defenses come online. But in the early game, before anyone's that tanky, it hits really hard.
Susano last picked and Sun Wukong for Rival. Susano really good at just that little bit of poke, trying to even set up, pull somebody out of tower as well with his pull. And Sun Wukong just being a complete and total nuisance.
He's a nuisance. He's annoying, right? That's what
he's supposed to do, though.
Solo laners are bullies. They're like the kids that stuff you into lockers. They just like to bully everyone. They get they got held back a grade, or maybe they grew up a little bit earlier. It's just like solo lane. You're just farming a little bit more. You're level 17. Everyone else is level 14. You just be that bully and just annoy people, especially carries. That's who Sun Wukong is best against, is diving onto backlines that can't burst him, and so he just distracts them while the rest of his team cleans up.
What's that matchup like, though, between the Sun Wukong and the Robin? Because as we know, Robin's very good early on.
It's going to be Robin. There's no one who can really match his aggression. And this also comes down to making sure your laning phase is good. This is in a bubble where there's No junglers involved. There's no gank attempts. There's no rotations needed. You're just 1v1. The Robin's going to win.
No crazy invades, at least yet. We're about 10 seconds ready to get into the game. I'm not seeing any rotations yet, so I feel it's safe to say no invades. But half the time I say that, it's the caster's curse. They decide to go ahead and go for it anyway, and then they make Tiger look bad.
You just never say anything. That's how you avoid the caster's curse.
Exactly.
Just a silent cast.
All right, y'all have fun.
We'll just do subtitles.
Carry me, Adonis.
We'll just do subtitles. That's all we need. But Wrath picked up here once again from the jungler, this time over on the side of Rapio. And I think this is not really him wanting to use the Wrath. I think this is him having to fight against the Wrath. He might still think that the Kuang is going a Wrath just to try and stay ahead, but this opens up Rival now to have kind of that same aggression that Cyclone did, where they look for these early ganks in the dual lane or mid lane and try and set up for the Gold Fury.
I got scared for a second because I saw Freya building the same thing as Isis, and I thought, oh no, is that another Freya mid? But Freya is going into the ADC role with Narc, and now lots of pressure coming out of that solo lane. Both jungles are here, looking for blood, looking for damage. No, I'm going to be able to dish some out, but take it as well.
And this is good for Rival because not only did they get the presence or the pressure on the right-hand side, they're going to get the fire elementals, and both junglers stuck to the right-hand side, which means Rival now going to be able to take both mid camps here, unless the Neith and Kuang can go there right this second.
Good knock-up coming out from Bacchus, but taking a lot of punishment for it. Narc forcing, just trying to stay to the back line at that point. I let Dinosaur do all the dirty work for now.
Just let him have the presence here. I don't think either of these team or either of these are going to be able to set up for any kills in the dual lane here.
Not yet.
Final early camp though. Left side Harpy still not picked up. Neither team really wanting to go for them. Rival's got to be the team to go for it though. They have the Isis Susano.
Oh, beautiful stun. Osric getting annihilated. Watson taking first blood. Just stunt the Kuang early.
Really surprised to see Osric pushed up that much as an Kuang. You expect to kind of be pushed back for the most part. That's actually why they went the Neith, so they would have a mid laner who could contest mid camps and not let the Kuang have all his camps, stolen in the early game, but just walking up into a position he shouldn't have been, and on a great job and just mindset from Watson. Instantly stuns, the follow-up from Rapio as well. Clearly synergized.
Well, that relieves a lot of the pressure on the mid lane as well, so Rival could go rotate to those left mid camps, take those out, and then get back before Kuang gets there.
And now this is going to be the story of Gold Furies, I think. Rivals want to open up the map. They have about a 1K lead already, 2 minutes in. And so not only do they have the Wrath, but we didn't talk about the Isis. Isis ult is actually the best objective secure in the game, not even needing Wrath.
Yeah, because all that damage happening inside of it just increases the power, increases the healing for your team as well. So very nice coming out from there. Cyclone taking out these back camps since they weren't really able to get anything in the mid.
This has got to be on Rival. Just keep up the pressure the Kuang. Don't allow him to farm back up. I'd like to see an invade probably onto their red or speed buffs on their first spawn. And you can already see Susano level 5 just backing in lane right now. Wants to get those boots 3 online as soon as possible, while Kuang is still very far behind.
Sun Wukong rotating over, trying to take these fire imps, is going to be able to help, or is going to be able to get some with the help of Isis as well. Good rotations coming out. Not really getting caught out either. Osric really sticking to this mid lane here. He's still level 4, is going to get stunned out. Good ball, good wing gust follow up. All 4 hitting the dragon, just keeping him at bay.
Just a little bit of poke, that's all Watson wants to do. He knows he doesn't have any kill potential there. It's just going to be able to get him to half-life, make sure that Osric can't farm efficiently here. No invade, surprisingly enough, from Rival. Instead, they actually head straight to the Gold Fury.
They're straight at the Gold Fury.
Dinosaur can't stop this though. I mean, they have Wrath and Isis ult. How do Rival drop this?
I mean, they might be able to come in with the ultimate. Good knockup. Intoxicate coming in. Dinosaur and Rival still going to be able to take it for themselves, but Dinosaur trying to punish them for it. Good poke coming out from Rapio, and then the good rewind from Atonement.
Oh, this Neith, they need to be careful here. Neith was stuck in the mid lane, not going to be rotating over. Might have been able to set up for a kill. Right-hand side, though, is Una. Going to get soloed by Gnome there. Nice play from him. But they do trade out overall, so completely worth, I think. Both the first blood had already been taken. No worry there. And I love this from Osric, recognizing that right-hand side had just been poked out, try and steal away the blue. But he backs off. He doesn't know where anyone was. A little bit scared there. A little bit scared. He could have, that would have been free.
Maybe a little bit of miscommunication too. Could have said something about no rotations or no. They don't really have a lot of vision in this jungle to spot that out. As I'm looking at the board, there's no wards on that right side.
What happened was that no one's really been able to back for wards just yet. Everyone's still starting with their starter builds. The only one who's taken a trip to base has been the junglers. Obviously, boots 3 online for Susano and boots 2 online for Kuang. So hasn't really been able to farm as efficiently.
Not yet, but Dinosaur doing good, getting himself a kill, putting CycloneGG on the board. Plus, we got that kill earlier on in the solo lane, even currently, but it's a little bit in favor of Rival when it comes to the numbers.
Dinosaur was able to pick up a kill, but not really worth that much. Rival full committed to the Gold Fury there, so they're okay with only losing one member. Not that big of a deal. Also, it was the Guan Yu that he killed, so
yeah.
If it's a carry, okay, but Guan Yu is just really about his base abilities, just the healing more than anything. The conviction's great, and as long as he can get his first 2 defensive items online in the next 5 to 10 minutes, he'll be tanky enough. Taking a spill for a Gold Fury is going to be worth for him every day of the week.
So knowing Freya's history, knowing Narc and his proficiency, are we going to see more rotations coming onto this duo lane to try and lock him down early on?
Possibly. I mean, that's up to Rival what they want to focus on. I think they're more worried about shutting down this Kuang if they want to go for a Gold Fury again. They're likely to just keep trying to farm that every time it spawns, and so they'll want to get a pick beforehand. It could be the Freya, but I think they're going to be more worried about Kuang once he gets a couple items online and his potential to just execute someone. More than likely the Susano, right? They want to make sure the Susano can stay alive, and the Kuang's going to be the scariest person against that.
It's not too hard for Susano to stay alive. He's very slippery. 2 dashes, the teleport. It's pretty nasty.
The thing is, though, he doesn't have Purification online yet. He only has the Wrath, so if you can get any form of stun onto him, whether it be the Bacchus knockup or a root from Neith, then it's going to be a little bit harder for him to deal with. There's not that many hard CCs on the side of Cyclone, though, which is good for him. Probably the reason he went the Wrath instead of the Purification, but he's still got to watch out for them.
I like watching Gnome, even on a matchup that should technically go to the Ravana. At this point, Wukong's doing a very good job. Not going to miss the whoop, not going to be able to help lock down those. Instead, they're going to go to Team Rival.
Just continuously pressuring into this jungle. About a 2K lead now, and Cyclone's been on their back foot the whole time. He'll be fine. Just barely getting up into his ult, though.
Good timing coming out. I think that was more luck, if anything, but
Fire Elementals.
Yeah, the Fire Elementals going to Cyclone, so good job there. Zuna finally able to bag now that the pressure from some Wukong has been alleviated.
And, I mean, Gnome's still going to be fine here. Osric, man, just eating all of those Spirit Balls from Watson. Watson does not miss, and that's surprising to me just because when you see someone switch roles, whether it be from mid to jungle, support to hunter, or in Watson's case, solo to mid, it always takes time to really be considered a top player in the new role. There's so many just small things you have to learn. You have to learn about not only all the gods, but also all their potential matchups, and you never know what people are going to bring out.
Exactly.
And again, he hits it.
Yeah,
over the wall this time.
He's doing a great job with those Rival taking the right mid harpies as well. Leps are about to come up. Looks like a little bit of grouping coming out from CycloneGG. Want to take it, but there is a Chronos lurking around as well. Damage camp going to be the biggest concern for Cyclone, but then Team Rival looking to go ahead and come on in. There's the grouping. Going to not find the stun, but Watson definitely leaving a message.
Rival still a little bit surprising to me that they're not trying to pressure in a little bit sooner, try and steal away these camps, get the timers. Right now, they're in such a good position to invade and continuously shut down this Kuang. He only has Boots 3 right now, just hitting level 9. Your jungler's been 10 for a little bit, so I want to see a little bit more aggression, but Gold Fury about to spawn. This is when Rival are looking for a pick.
I mean, in Rival, they did the slow burn that Cyclone was doing last game. It was, a little pick here, a little pick there, maybe a buff camp here, the fire imps.
Yep.
And then
a little bit at a time.
Yeah, and then it was those big fights like that Gold Fury.
A lot of what they did though was set up for kills with the Ratatosker specifically, diving onto Watson as much as possible. We saw him dive on to Atonement in the duo lane as well, but it's a little bit harder for Susano to do that. He doesn't have the semi-global presence to go from mid to jungle, or excuse me, mid to duo in like 3 seconds.
Right.
Takes him a little bit of time, despite how fast Susano actually is.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to be able to pick himself up like that, but nice. A good pull coming in, forcing out the water illusion. Osric going to be fine, but forced out by the Isis as well. Watson doing a good job with the follow-up there.
Gold Fury has spawned. You can see the positioning. Rival.
Yeah,
they're at the very least looking to bait this. They still need to worry about the Bacchus more than anything, because he can make it very hard for them to secure this for free. Susano actually on zone duty. Gold Fury starting to be chipped away, under 75% now.
He almost took it for his team last time, jumping in again. No Intoxicate just yet, but forcing out the Typhoon. He's taking so much already. There it goes. Everybody's drunk, but still, Dinosaur is going to get annihilated. Narc getting a kill, but Rapio taking out the Bacchus. Atonement blowing going up, not gonna find the stun from Isis, but instead, everybody's so low on Cyclone. Atonement taken out locally once again. Good route coming out, but Narc is in a very, very bad spot.
And Azuna's still hanging around, trying to get anything he can. He's trying to finish off Rapio, though, but Rapio just juking in circles. Great CC chain come out from Rival. They're going to get a deicide. 5 members die. They only lose Zinborn. They're going to be awarded with the Gold Fury as well. Such a beautiful bait. They started the Gold Fury. Also, Zinborn getting very low on that Guan Yu, kind of making it more enticing for Dinosaur to jump in. He finally does. His ult comes out, but all Rival do is they back up. They immediately blow up the Bacchus. It was a great job from Azuna at the start for making it hard for Rival to push forward, but he's just not tanky enough in his position right now, and just slowly Rival able to chip down, find individual players. We saw the CC chains out onto the Kuang as well as the Freya, and then just 5 kills opened up this game for Rival.
In the last Gold Fury, I think Cyclone wanted it to go that way. If they don't steal it, okay, yeah, sure, Bacchus jumps in, gets the Intoxicate going. They take out a couple of people, try to just, try to lessen the burn. But instead, they got completely shut down.
At some point, you got to give up Gold Furies. I don't know if that probably would have been one that Cyclone could have looked at, especially against the Wrath and the Ice Assault. Those are just such hard Gold Fury confirms. You basically need to commit to a fight if you're planning on stopping them. But they didn't full commit. We saw Dinosaur jump in, but everyone else was just kind of hanging around there watching, seeing exactly how Rival would react. And Rival reacted, well, how you would expect. They blow up the support and then just slowly find those extra kills.
Have Cyclone taken a single mid-harpy?
I don't believe so. I don't believe they didn't get the first 2, and I haven't really noticed them being able to get anything else. It's really hard right now because the Kuang is so far behind, and Watson's done such a beautiful job of utilizing Isis's early game damage, finding those stuns, constantly pressuring him out, not ever letting Osric feel comfortable.
746 player damage coming out from Osric on the Kuang. I mean, that's not necessarily to say he's not playing Kuang well. It's just the fact that Rival are doing all of their resources to make sure he can't do anything. You can't do anything if you're dead.
The issue is that this Kuang is going to have the same problems that I think the Freya had last game, where there's so much AoE damage, and he is such a close-range character. It's going to be hard for him to find those openings. Those windows for him to jump in and kill someone are going to be so small, and because he's been shut down so much, he doesn't even have the opportunity to go and 100-0 someone. That's what you want as an Kuang. If you don't have the ability to go, I want you dead, and execute it, you're almost useless. And with all the AoE damage from the Susano, from the Wukong, from the Guan, like their entire team comp is really hard to dive into.
Good route, good box fight coming out from Rival. Good stun with the Tiger. Azuna trying to take out this nuisance here. Gonna be good for Gnome, however. Just both of these teams just are bruisery, but Bacchus coming in looking for the burp, and the stun forcing out the Somersault Cloud. They have that clone to deal with, but soon they're going to have him again.
That's unfortunate. I think Dinosaur probably could have set up for a kill here, but here's a rotation from all of Rival. Dinosaur has to back off. Kuang's made the rotation as well. And Azuna, he's low health, low mana, but he'll be fine.
So what did that do for Kuang? He wasn't able to get anything. He's losing farm opportunity. Was that better? Is it better for him to try and go for these team fights or just farm?
I think he just had to respond to Rival in that scenario, because if his team gets dove, he likely needs to be there, or else he has to rely on them backing up very defensively. It's just hard for him to get farm right now. He's got to focus on his buff camps, his back harpies, but everyone's kind of splitting those as a unit and not just giving it to him at this point. I mean, experience-wise, the whole team's behind.
That play would have been so nice from Rival. The Susano pull into the stun ball coming out from Isis would have been very nice. Typhoon going to be used, but not able to lock down the Dragon. Very close, though. Big
thing there is that Osric still has his Purification. That's what you really want to make sure you can survive this. Rival now starting up the invades. They have a very comfortable gold lead. They know this is going to be pretty free. The speed buff's going to be taken, and a teleport in from Rapio as well. I believe he went TP.
Yeah,
excuse me, that was Gnome. I don't know why I thought that was Rapio who TP'd in there.
No, you're good. Good knock up. Keep Zinborn at bay for now. Dinosaur and Blockley are really the only ones here that can try and defend this tier 1 tower. They're not going to put a lot of pressure. Good stun, but they're going to go for the rest of the jungle.
And this is, at some point, Cyclone, you're going to have to answer, because Rival are slowly starting to chip away. Before, they played very passively, just focusing on the big objective, Gold Fury. And that was fine for them, getting a couple kills as well, baiting some fights, awesome. But now they're starting to really control the camps, stripping away both the speed and red buff. And I think they got the blue as well. No, Azuna was able to get his, but just barely.
Somersault Cloud forced out again from Gnome. Osric trying to find the kill, but instead forcing out the ultimate. The stun would have taken out Blokely, but it didn't connect, and now there's a couple of seconds silence. It's going to be back off from CycloneGG. Blokely in the back. One more hit from anything, and he's pretty much gone.
Dinosaur there had to jump forward. Rival were pushing into the tower. He gets the 4-man knock up, the 4-man ult as well. You saw just how close those two players were to death.
Nice. Beautiful stun. Wasn't going to be able to do anything except just stop Dinosaur from continuing forward, but still, very nice positioning coming out from the Isis.
Once again, going for the Gold Fury. It's about to spawn, and there it is. Two members of Cyclone still coming out of base, and Azuna trying to make his way in. Gnome's on zone duty for now, and he's doing a great job because the team is completely distracted, and now Cyclone...
No, they're just giving it away.
They should have done this on the second one. Unfortunately, they've tried to commit, and now, in the matter of 10 minutes, 3 Gold Furies picked up for Rival.
Yeah, I mean, that's only going to continue to nosedive their lead for Rival. 9,000 experience, almost 7,000 gold, and we're only 15 minutes and 37 seconds in.
And really, Rival haven't had to do much. It hasn't been any crazy team fights. It's been one bait at the Gold Fury, and outside of that, it's just been this constant poke fest. Sun Wukong Isis, very good at just doing this long-range damage. Gnome gonna be committed on here, but he'll be fine for now. The question is, if he lands, is he going to be safe? And it seems so. Osric still waiting for his opportunity.
Yeah, but Nar going to get pinched between two members of Rival, forced into the ultimate, couple of shots, but that doesn't, Wanyu doesn't care. He's going to keep crashing in, dash, take a little bit of damage, and Narc going to get away. Hide to the back of the tower for now.
This could be a tower, though. You can see Rival rotating their team to the left-hand side, but instead focusing on their own camps that have just spawned. I'd like to see Rival start to siege here. I think they're being a little bit too cautious. They have a really good gold lead, and more importantly, a really good experience lead. Most players looking at their direct opposition have multiple levels ahead of them. 3 coming out of the Chronos versus the Freya. You have 1, I believe, coming out of the mid laners and 3 out of the junglers.
When we saw that last game, we didn't really see that huge experience lead until it was almost not useful.
It was, I mean, at that point, that was after the Fire Giant fight, I think, where they had like, okay, now everyone's 3 to 4 levels ahead. Yeah,
and there were only a couple, I mean, there were only a couple that weren't level 20 in that game, but now this is like this is a nice reverse from last week. In the first game, we saw them really bring out the aggression. In the second game, it was a little bit more of a slow burn. That's just flop. Now we're really seeing that aggression coming out from Rival, and there's complete and total control of the map.
This game feels like it's 25 minutes or 30 minutes, not 17. With how good this lead is and just how non-stop Rival have been about poking out players who get out of position. They're like, even their damage numbers aren't even insane. They're not like significantly ahead in Cyclone in the damage numbers. It's just everything comes out at the same time. A Spirit Ball into Susano pull into Stormkata.
Nice.
And just non-stop.
Blokely taking quite a bit of damage from that Isis Spirit Ball. I mean, they're on point. Even if they're not serving a purpose outside of just poke damage, they're still very good. Poke. Narc getting a lot of poke, forcing out the whoop. Chronos, not really what I expected when it came to this matchup, that Chronos would be just wiping the floor.
The big thing is the built-in Fatalis for the Chronos. Obviously, when he pops Accelerate, he's going to be able to have that extra movement speed. Where normally Freya has to go against traditional hunters who are a little bit slower when they throw their basics. So when you get into that boxing match, it's 2 things. Obviously, Freya has this 6-second window where she's great at boxing, when she activates her pulse and then irradiate. And the Chronos is the same way. When he pops his Accelerate, he has, you know, this window where he's going to just excel at boxing. And it's going to be better for him because he doesn't have that suffered reduced movement speed penalty. He's easily able to juke out Freya's shots, while Freya going to be a little bit slower and easier to hit.
I mean, this is quite different Cyclone than we've seen in the previous 4 games. I mean, just from last week and this week coming in. And now Rival really starting to make that objective call like he wanted them to. Osric trying to pump out the damage, getting a good decent amount onto Zimborn, but that heal going to help sustain him back up. And meanwhile, they're taking a lot of damage onto this tower. Good knockup, forcing out the purification from Gnome, but Dinosaur still has to worry about the clone and the 4 members of Rival.
I'm a little bit surprised. Rival not really full committing to that. They had the Guan Yu go in, he took so much poke, and everyone else kind of just backed off. They have the damage to do this,
Blokely.
And they're going to force out Blokely right into the Spirit Ball, just short.
Oh, it would have been so close, but instead Azuna going to be able to kick back in, but Osric taking a lot of punishment for it. Here come the water clones, though. That would have been really bad for the already stunted. Yeah, they're already coming in. Ripio able to take out Osric, and now the tower continues to fall.
The complete pile-in from Rival here.
Oh,
Cyclone on full retreat. Rapio finds Narc here, and now he's going to be juking out Azuna, who's left by himself as the rest of the team trying to get back to base. Blokely has come back into the fight, finds his Spirit Arrow, but it doesn't matter. There's a couple members low on the side of Rival, but they have so much healing potential. The tier 2 is going to be sieged successfully here as Blokely takes another Spirit Ball to the face. Rapio cleans him up once again for his 5th kill of 10 in this match.
Rival taking a 3-for-0 trade plus the towers.
I mean, this is going to snowball out of control. It's almost a 12. It's 11,000 gold lead. There's so many towers open on the right-hand side. It's close. I think the team's debating about doing Fire Giant right now, but this is going to be the same scenario that Cyclone had last game, where they're really far ahead in gold, but they probably haven't spent most of their lead just yet, and they might want to go back and make sure they do that.
I mean, cover all your assets. Make sure that there's nothing that CycloneGG can do at this point to try and even disrupt you. And Rival, they don't want to make some mistakes that they may have made in the previous game. The last thing you want to do is choke. We saw a choke game yesterday. Rival do not want to follow in the same footsteps.
Yeah, Rival having 9,000 gold of their lead in their inventory at that time. A couple members back. The rest actually trying to get a pick on the right-hand side. Osric, level 14, needs his water illusion up. I think no one's going to be able to chase him down before that. And he does so successfully. The Kuang eating his 4th death of the game. And they're still chasing onto Azuna here. They don't want to let him go for free.
Look what they did, though, earlier on. Rival taking this gold free while this fight is just good misdirection. No keeping Dinosaur and Azuna busy. But earlier on, when Osric was still there with the dragon, Azuna get knocked out by the Rapio coming in. Oh my goodness. They completely ignored Azuna. They went straight for the jungler.
Just no problem chasing that one down. It's going to be clean here. Rival 12-3. They just got their 4th gold free of the match as well, extending that gold lead to almost 15,000. Now it's just a matter of grouping up. 3K in the bank for Rapio. He's finally no, he still doesn't want to base yet. 3,400. He's just going to do Fire Giant with the rest of his squad. Then I suspect maybe he'll back. Dinosaur trying to stop this, but the Wrath and the Ice Assault still online, and the team's just going to immediately turn on the Bacchus, the only one who's been annoying him. Forced to jump away, and FG going to get picked up for Rival 22 minutes in.
Lots of momentum coming out from the Chaos side. Rival barreling down the lane. They have only 2 towers remaining to burn through before they can start looking at these Firebirds. Right Phoenix, I mean, the right tower here, tier 2, going to fall very quickly with all 5 members just hacking away at it.
Game 1, I think Rival got pretty heavily outdrafted. The Freya, well, it can work in some situations in mid. I just don't think against the composition they were running, it didn't really work. Too easily dove. In this game, though, I love what they've done. They've had the complete switch up in style, drafting more for that early game power. They have the Isis, the Susano, who is able to poke out this Kuang, and I feel like Cyclone kind of invested too much into their late game.
Rival backing off, not able to break the defenses into the Phoenix just yet. Instead, they have a little bit of a jungle to take, as well as 1 tower remaining on the left side, the duo side.
This is going to be brutal. Can we see Golden Hando? It just, okay. Real quick.
Yeah,
he just bought something. He just bought an entire shifter shield. Okay, so Rapio just bought an entire shifter shield and still has 2,200 gold. That's when you know you haven't been back to base in quite some time.
And now he's going to hurt even more. Like, he was in a really good position now, but it's going to be even worse.
He's feeling himself because he didn't even... In these situations, a lot of time, your last item's a Spirit's Robe or a Bulwark of Hope or anything that's just going to, like, make you stay alive long because your damage is so high already, you don't have to worry about it. No. Rapio's going full damage. He's looking for a final, item here, a penetration item. More than likely going to be Brawler's Beat Stick just to reduce any healing potential coming out of the Freya.
I like the fact that they're taking all their jungle, though, just making sure they starve out CycloneGG. If you want experience, if you want gold, you're going to have to fight us, and that has not worked out for you in the past by far in this game.
Not even going to be able to get their own speed buff. Red buff about to spawn here, and you could see already they'll line up from Atonement. He'll be stealing that away once it does. And now it's just a matter of time right now. This is almost impossible for Cyclone to come back into. The only way they come back into this is off the back of the Kuang having the absolute most perfect play and Narc being able to be untouched in a team fight. You can see he's just finished Spear of the Magus, which is going to help. It will help out the Kuang, but I don't know by how much.
They don't have to worry about fire minions just yet. There hasn't been a Phoenix that has fallen, so they can devote all of their defenses to to Rival at this point. They're already jumping through. Trying to zone is Bacchus. Good knock up. Good slow coming out, but the backflip already forced out, and that's a lot of distance for Cyclone. Typhoon coming in. Rapio already taking out Narc, and then Osric is so low, taking out Blokely. In the meantime, Rival have already taken down the Phoenix and half the team of Cyclone, forcing them back into the fountains and doing a lot of damage. Rapio with 3 kills onto Osric, and they're just looking at the Titan.
Diving all the way in here. Rapio, I think he wants the Penta, maybe a little bit too greedy. He's going to escape. It's just going to be a triple. The Titan's going to fall. It's going to be a split. Cyclone finding 1 win against Rival. I think 1 there in the picks and bans phase, but game 2, Rival able to answer back off Watson and Rapio. 9-0-5. He was a part of 14 of the 15 kills. He was 2/3 of the kills himself for his team.
I mean, that's why Rapio just had a fantastic game.
Yeah.
He's so good on that Susano too, being
He's
able to zip
dominating.
in, zip out. But the pulls, just the little pulls out of the towers, just to go ahead and for the rest of his team to collapse in. I think that's the biggest thing.
This is going to be a really scary synergistic mid and jungle that teams are going to have to worry about in the future. Just having to deal with both Rapio and Watson, and just their individual mechanics alone are so phenomenal. And now that we're starting to see the synergy come in there, and also the experimentation, obviously the Freya doesn't work out, but we still wanted to see what Watson's God pool was going to be outside of Raijin, since it was banned away. You could see he can flex into something that you're not going to be able to expect, as well as this very hyper-aggressive ISIS style.
Well, first split coming out for the EU SCL. Both teams getting 1 point, still tied at the top, which is a really good testament to Cyclone right now.
No, I mean, this was Cyclone's job to prove themselves here. I wouldn't really say it was Rival's job to win this. It was kind of expected that they would do well.
Yeah.
And I think game 1 wasn't really the traditional Rival we see. I think game 2 was a little bit more so. So I'm excited to see how both these teams evolve over the next coming weeks.
I mean, we didn't really see Rival in the first game, but we definitely see them here, especially Atonement. Looking at this Gold Fury here, forcing out the rewind, and then from there, it's complete and utter chaos.
This was the second Gold Fury where Cyclone tried to fight into it, but Atonement was just allowed to free cast. He got aggressed onto launch, a great rewind, able to reset himself. And then you saw Narc overextend himself looking for Atonement. Atonement able to juke him out. That means the rest of the team was able to chase down Narc after his ult had ended. Azuna was there as well, trying to protect his Freya, and then falls. It was just kind of everyone on Cyclone kept trying to protect one another, and they just died because of it.
It was great momentum coming out from them as well, but that was only match 1. We have one more match coming up that's going to be Excellence versus Retribution. Stay tuned. We got more shenanigans coming at you.